Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of NWCR's Removing the Liberal Blindfold for this Tuesday, the second day of February in the year of our Lord 2021. Think Donald Trump's going away? Think again, a former advisor to President Trump says, and that's bad news for Democrats. Even worse news for the 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach the now former president. But now, because of President Biden, we are getting many things that we would never get if Trump was still in office, as he should have been had the decision not been cheated out of his win. We have Team Biden having a rough time with its messaging, and even China is now demanding things that were impossible during Trump's presidency because it wouldn't be allowed, and we have a case in point. China's top diplomat, Yang Jiechi, warned Biden administration not to cross Beijing's red line in a half-hour speech on the evening of February 1st. Quote, "The United States should stop interfering in the affairs of Hong Kong, Tibet, and Xinjiang," Yang said, calling the issues regarding the three regions China's internal affairs. He made the remarks while speaking at a virtual event hosted by the New York-based nonprofit, the National Committee on U.S.-China Relations. Yang added, quote, "They constitute a red line that must not be crossed. Any trespassing would end up undermining China-U.S. relations and the United States' own interests," unquote. He also told the United States that it should, quote, "strictly abide by the one China principle," unquote, with regards to Taiwan, a self-ruled island that Beijing claims as part of its territory. But that is not all. Like I said, the Biden team seems to be having a rough time with its messaging, especially when it comes to alternatives for energy and the workers who have lost their high-paying jobs because of the new so-called administration's envoy for climate, as they suggested that those workers make solar panels. John Kerry, who flies in private jets and owns a 76-foot yacht and several mansions and has the carbon footprint of a small nation, tells energy workers to make solar panels when the Biden administration kills their jobs. Fake Vice President Kamala Harris sent an even more tone and humanity-deaf message during an interview with WSAZ-TV in Huntington, West Virginia that aired Thursday night. Her lack of concern for the workers in the coal mining industry, whose livelihoods were abruptly lost, was impossible to miss unless, of course, you are a Democrat lemming who sees nothing wrong with this stupidity. So was her complete lack of familiarity with the topic. Harris told the outlet that the workers' skills could be transferred to, quote, "to what we would need in terms of dealing with realizing abandoned landmines," unquote. And now to remove the liberal blindfold here, folks. Come on, you know all those landmines strewn around the countryside in West Virginia? They are a concern to everyone who has a child. What if they go out there and step on one? They could be blown to bits. But all kidding aside, you are a supposed official like Biden or Harris. Shouldn't you research your information before you open your pie hole and show your complete idiocy to the world? What better way to win friends in West Virginia? Political commentator Virad Mehta noted on Twitter that this, quote, slip-up was, quote, sure to cause eye rolls in the state. There's the unparalleled political acumen Vice President intersectionality is known for. They just keep underestimating her unpopularity. There's a kind of reverse Trump effect in her polling. Maybe she's a good politician behind the scenes, but public-facing, she's not good, unquote. No, she really is not good, and neither is Biden. Both she and Biden may be accomplished adding cheating to the White House as their latest, but they are both unlikable when policies start rolling out, and they are both completely out of touch with the ordinary working or even now unworking Americans. Neither one of them is bright enough to know that as president and vice president, what they say has consequences. Of course, to a Democrat, there is supposed to be none. But the consequences in this case make it seem like she has no idea about what the people in the mining industry are facing, and that it doesn't even matter to her. If it did, she would have researched before she opened her stupid mouth. But research to a Democrat is a foreign word, and they have no concept of what it means. Because if they did, they would realize this whole idea of shutting down the Keystone XL pipeline is going to up the CO2 emissions from ships and trains and trucks that will now be used to transport this oil, instead of the pipeline, which was a much more environmentally sound idea, and closing down the mines in West Virginia. Consequences will be tough for the Biden administration for that one, as people are now out of work and angry. And now even our neighbor to the north is mad. Way to start a unifying administration, you two. Now you want to expel 100 Republicans from Congress, too. And even Black Lives Matter wants in on that one, with a quote from their website that said, quote, "There are still people who played a role in the violent insurrection a few weeks ago. It is not enough to denounce the white supremacy behind the attack. We must remove its endorsers from Congress. Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and over 100 Republicans who voted against certifying the Electoral College. That is why we're supporting Representative Cori Bush's resolution, which would investigate and expel the GOP members of Congress who attempted to overturn the election and incited a white supremacist attack." Unquote. So now we have the Democrats being courted by a terrorist group that actually was involved in that attack? And because of that, I will always say, we will not be ruled, and God will be on our side. We have to fight for our nation, folks, because the people who have succeeded in cheating themselves to the top do not even have a clue as to what they are doing, and they have opened up a whole can of worms that is going to destroy an economy that they care nothing for, but should. This actually would be funny if there wasn't such a real world consequence for the rest of us to be had. Thank you again for continuing to listen to us here at NWCR, heard through Conservative Nation Media, from behind the silver microphone of freedom, with the voice of reason in this increasingly unreasonable world where America always wins. Please pray for America, folks, because the Democrats have sided with the devil and stupidity, and they are going to be the undoing of this nation until we call on God to help save us. We need to start electing people who revere God and the Constitution and our laws, and who even has a modicum of common sense would be good too, something that is sorely missing in Washington, D.C. these days. We will continue to be here to give you the truth that the lamestream lying media will not. See you tomorrow, and have a great day, and God bless you all.